Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dharma practitioners, when it comes to our human life, we always bound to our ideas. And that idea always coming from our experience. We cannot escape from it. But at the same time, underneath our ideas, there is something govern this everything. That is what we call karma. Your own bodily, verbally, and mentally actions always bring reactions and result. Why it happen like that way? Because we perform all our actions with the self-centered mind. This is me. This body is mine. Inside this body, I live. And also not only that, what I see is there is something, and what I see, others can see. What I see exists, and what I see going to be exist as the way I see. So like that, we always, and not only seeing with our all five senses, with our eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. So apply the same mechanism. What you hear, so others can hear. What you smell, others can smell, and it is exist outside. And what you feel, others can feel, and there is something exists like that way outside. So like that, we always hold it to something. That what you hold as something is mostly in your mind. That doesn't mean there's nothing outside. Of course, there is something outside, but we mostly don't see it. We mostly see our inside. So as example, when you see this piece of wood, that it is just the color that you see, because your eye can see only the colors. But how you recognize this is hard. And so when it comes to this paper, and this also color, and this wood and the paper, the same materials. So as you know, this also the same material, and this the same. So, but you see, you can recognize this is not hard, but this is hard. How you recognize that? From where it comes? Because it cannot come through your eye. It cannot come through your ear, nose, tongue, or body in the moment. That hardness you recognize through your mind. That's why always this mind is used the four elements to recognize. So whatever you see, and to recognize its nature and format it inside, mind use four elements. And whatever you hear, and the mind use four elements. And to smell, taste, sensation, even with the thoughts. So like that, deeply, there that all your past experience funding and to your all past experience format moment by moment, whatever the perception. So we go with it. Nothing wrong. That is the very behavior of existence. But when it comes to self-centered mind, when you strongly believe this is me, I am, what will happen? Out of that believing, you go beyond the limits. That means you don't recognize the very behavior of the nature and the law of the nature, and you go beyond that, you try to overtake the law of nature. So that is where you create karma. But if you understand the law of nature, and if you go with that, then you're not going to create a karma. But for that, you have to attain to enlightenment, or you have to have the very clear, sharp mind to go with the perception moment by moment, moment by moment, without reacting with your past experience, without creating that. It is possible. That's why we keep teaching. That's why we keep trying. That's why we try to learn. It is possible. So, but the thing is, when you always come to the idea of the self, this is me, I am experiencing this, I can do this, I am one who doing this everything outside, and sometimes we recognize these outside things change, but inside I am permanent. Whoever used to be yesterday, the same person exists today, and I'm going to be tomorrow. So like that, we bound to self-centered mind, then what will happen? We go beyond our limits. And that is where you break rules. When you break rules, what will happen? As a result of that, whatever the reactions come, you have to pay for that. So this is the behavior of the karma. But that doesn't mean you are belong to it or you bound to that. If you become very conscious, you can change that. How? When you able to not to react with your past experience, if you able to react according to the necessary conditions in the moment, then you can get out of it. So that is the one of the major important, that the breakthrough, that when it comes to the Buddha's teaching, because before the Buddha, everyone became so paralyzed in front of the name of the karma. No one able to tackle this. How you can get out of the karma? Everybody worship the karma. Everybody surrender to the karma. But the Buddha is the one who told your consciousness is stronger than your past experience. This moment of consciousness, this moment of your awareness, this moment, in this very moment of the mind, the mind that you hear this, is stronger than all eons by eons your past experience. If you able to believe that, if you able to come to the point to understand it, that is where you can change your past. But mostly in day-to-day life, the ugly truth is we always like to hold it to our memory. We depend on that. We try to feed it to it. We always hug it, and we sleep with it. We wake up with it. We eat with it. We talk with it. We do everything with our memory. So that is where that we create again and again and again this circle of samsara. So then remember yourself. So whatever you have done in the past, and it's like a shadow, it will keep coming until you find a higher place, until you develop a better quality inside you, until you recognize yourself with your bodily, verbally, and mentally actions with the mindfully. If you are able to perform from that point, you are able to clear this all the karma. So then remember yourself and try yourself. Give your best when in day-to-day life. Whatever happen in your life, just let it go and move forward with the clear mind. And according to necessary conditions, whatever happening in around you, go with it. It doesn't matter whatever you have to pay for it. When you get to that conscious idea, conscious decision, remember, that is where really you're going to purify yourself deeply inside within yourself. So as human being, if you're able to come to that understanding, you can change your life. within even 24 hours. This everything can change around you. So you have to believe that change, because everything change in the world. That change happening everywhere. Look at the virus. And how many times this virus change a code, that the time to time, that it's coming in a different way. So that is the very behavior of the very fundamental quality of the nature. If this unseen virus can change according to the conditions, why you cannot change? You are more stronger than this virus. But look at you, how you paralyzed when it come to your inner habitual patterns. Why you cannot get out of it? Why you keep repeating your life again and again and again? Why you cannot be just mindful when, or be conscious in day-to-day life, rather than bringing your memory and put it to your present moment? So look, at least learn from the virus. See, that virus always change, always change. That's why it can survive. So remember yourself, if you cannot change, it is very difficult for you. This itself, your life going to become a struggle, even in conventional level. Forget about the spiritual. When you tune to that flow of change, that is the liberation that you gain. But we are hold it to memory, and we try to change everything around us according to the way we want. But we don't see how our inside change. So through the meditation, we're trying to experience and understand how our inside change, how our awareness or the consciousness change. When you experience that, naturally you come to a point not to struggle to fulfill your inner desires. So for this, I'm going to bring a story from the Buddha's time. Listen this very carefully. During the Buddha's time, there was a nun called Isidasi. So this nun attained to enlightenment. And then one day after the lunch, the Pindapata, after they have the lunch, and she had a friend called Bodhi. She also a nun. So this Bodhi and Isidasi sat under a tree and had a very friendly discussion. So this Isidasi was so beautiful, and she was a millionaire's daughter. So her father was a millionaire, and in that city, the city called the village called Kusum, and the city called Patali. In that Patali city, in this Kusum village, her father was the millionaire. Everybody knew. And she's the only child in the family. So then this Bodhi, her friend, nun, asked, Isidasi, your father is so rich, and you are the only one child in the family. How you became a nun? Why you became a nun? What is the reason? So then they having a very comfortable time, and then the Siddhasi told, oh, let me tell my story. And then she started to tell, when my age is right to get married, my father found out another millionaire son in another city. So I went there. Mostly in Eastern countries, when somebody get married, the always wife go to the husband house in the ancient time. So she went to the husband house and used to live there. And she used to take care all her father-in-law, mother-in-law, and everyone. And she was so mindful not to make any mistakes, because when you go to someone else's house, it is very difficult to find the balance. So you know it better than me. And see, this Isidasi was so mindful to keep everybody happy. And she did everything to her best. But everybody was happy. But by the time what happened, her husband one day came and told to his parents, mother, father, I can't live with this woman. I want to leave this house. Then the parents asked, why? What happened? Because she's doing good. What happened? Is there something went wrong? No, nothing happened. But I don't feel to live with her. I don't like her anymore. It's fine. It's kind of like I feel so uncomfortable when I am with her. So then he was ready to leave the house. He was the only son in that family. And then parents came to Isidasi and asked, what happened? What's wrong? Is there anything you did? Then she told, no, I didn't do anything. Then the parents was struggling to take a decision because their only son going to leave the house. What they did, they told to Isidasi, their daughter-in-law, we want to keep our son, so please go back to your house. So what they did, they sent back her to his father. Now what happened? Because at that time, when somebody and send out of the house, especially women, they had a very hard time in the society. And because no one want to accept them in certain ways. So what happened? Now she at home. So her father was so worried about her. And then again, her father found out the very wealthy man. He was not that much like a first husband. He was little bit poor, a little bit wealthy, but the father thought now the first marriage broke up, so the second marriage. And then she went there and lived with him. Then what happened? He told the same. He told, I don't want to live with this woman. I don't like her. So then again she came back home. Now what? The father and the mother was so worried. As all the mothers and fathers, when the children fail, they become so worried. So same like the Isidasi's parents start to become so worried day and night, start to think about her. Then what happened one day? Her father saw a beggar came to their house to beg something. And then the father told to this beggar, why you begging like this? He was kind of like a little bit, healthy person and told, so I have my daughter. Can you marry and take care of her? So what happened? She married this beggar. And then they used to live few days at home. Then suddenly the beggar started to tell, I don't want to live with this woman. She used to take care of him very well. Morning put the water and bring the hot water and doing everything, head to toes, clean him, everything. But this person, this beggar told, I don't want to live with this woman. I want to go. I want to go. My beggary life is better than this. The father was shocked. And then even the Siddhasi was so worried herself. Why this happened to me like, because I didn't do any wrong. And then what happened within few days, even the beggar left her and he went back to the beggary. So then she thought to suicide. Like everyone, think. She thought, what's this useless life? It's a shame for me. It's shame for our family. everybody leaving me. I don't do any wrong. I don't want this life. So then what happened? There was a little bit older nun called Jinadatta. So this nun one day came for the dana to at home. So to her home. So after offering the dana, this Isidasi went to this nun and told, is it possible for me to become a nun? So Jinadatta told, of course, you can become a nun, but you have to get the permission from your parents. So then she went to her father and the mother and told, I want to become a nun. And in the first that the father told, you can stay at home and uh, be like that way. She told, no, I don't want to stay at home anymore. I want to go with this nun. So then father thought she was trying to marry 3 times. Even the beggars don't want to live with her, with this all the luxurious life. So then what happened? It is better she go. And everybody knew the Buddha, and the father thought maybe she attain to the community of the Sangha, and maybe she will find something with them. So then they gave the permission, and the Isidatta went with the Jinadatta, and Isidasi went with the Jinadatta and became a nun. And she practiced meditation, and she attained to the enlightenment. Then she thought, and she had the power to look her own previous lives, and she able to look 7 lives backward her in her high mental powers. So then she thought one day, it's very interesting, what happened to me, why this happened to me, there is something that why that's everybody, even the beggars with this all this luxurious life, even the beggars don't want to live with me. I want to look back, why this happened to me like this way. Then she start to look her previous lives. Then in the 7th one, she saw herself that she was a goldsmith. This goldsmith was a very famous in that city. The reason is, when somebody gives some work to him, he do exactly the way that other person want to make an ornament or anything. So because of that, people paying so much money for him, and he was so busy, and then he start to charge more and more and more. So but when he do some work, he forget everything, and he focus his mind to that whatever the work. It became a profitable skill for him. It's kind of like a samadhi. It is not the samadhi, but it's kind of like, concentrate himself only for that work. So, and because of that, whatever he made become more beautiful and perfect. So people like him and people pay more. So he became so rich. Now what? He having so much money. And so then when he's having free time, he go and he having fun. Mostly he go to women. And he go to women and he became very aggressive. And he became kind of like an animal, because he spent so much money, and he used to women kind of like animals. He didn't respect to anybody. Why? Because he thought, oh, I pay. So then you have to do whatever I want. So then what happened? So while he having that kind of life, he didn't understand the, the very nature of this human life. and he thought he have money and he can do whatever he want. When he pay for somebody, that he kind of like he thought that he have the the authority regarding that person. So like that, he used to give hard time to women. As a result of that, what happened after he died, he went to a lower existence and he had a very hard. Even in the story it says 7 lifetimes, the lifetimes, see that how he became. Even one time he became a monkey, and whenever that she that the that even that became animal, and one time it became a cow. So when whatever that he became, each and every time he had the something wrong with the reproductive organs, and somebody maybe come and cut it that much, you know, that the karma came behind. Then the sixth one, that's mean the very next previous one, the life, that he became a woman, very young beautiful woman. And then when she was 10 years old, there was a man came and took her as his wife. And he's a kind of like a very aggressive person, same like look, that before that the previous lives, he was a very aggressive for women, and finally she end up with the man the same behavior, and she had a very hard, very difficult time. And then he brought another woman. So what she then, that Isidasi, what she did, she started to tell lies regarding other women and try to break up their relationship, and told the lies. It's not a kind of like a, very simple things, very very bad, strong words that she used to uh, to to tell him to prove the other woman is so bad. So then, as a result of that whatever the she told about these women's, and the way he 7 lifetimes back, that how he that the goldsmith treat the women. So what happened when she became this in this very life as Isidasi, and no one want to live with her, everybody leave, everybody leave. So then you have to remember something. As human beings, we have conventional life. You may have, we all have feelings, but always remember, when you have connection with other people, never disturb anybody. Learn to respect. Never reached anyone without the respect. Never hurt anybody. And also, even wherever you go, if you get the service, learn to remember yourself. Make them happy. If you cannot make them happy, don't get the service out of them. Even you go to hotel and the waiters or waitress or somebody come to you, and they if they do their physical service, so don't think because you've paid, they have they kind of like they are kind of like a slave to you. No, it is not like that. Of course you pay, but at the same time deeply, the way you treat to other humans, can create a karma in you. So wherever you go, even you go to market, even you go to any other, even you go to saloon, you get the haircut, or you go and do your nails, or your makeup. So anything, even you go to massage parlor, you get the service out of them. So then remember, even you go to the brothel house or anywhere, people do that. Anywhere, remember, you have to respect. This is the very important that lesson that you have to get that out of this Isidasi. See how he used to treat people. And as you know, the millionaire, that Paul J. Getty, in his autobiography, he's saying he had 5 wives. All these 5 wives and divorced him, and he never divorced anybody. He himself telling, even he became a millionaire, any woman didn't like to live with him. Look at that life. You know, those same then yourself, until you attain to the Nibbana, we all, bound to the karma. That doesn't mean everything can happen because of the karma. No, in Buddhism, in the Buddhism, it is different. But deeply underneath, it has a power to hold us. So then with your bodily, verbally, mentally actions, never criticize anybody. Don't do any harm to anybody. So whatever you do, even your husband, your wife, your children, parents, you have to respect. That when you are able to do that way, it become a profitable skill to yourself. So that is what you have to develop in day-to-day life. And then naturally, you become more humble person. And it's kind of like you deeply protect yourself. It's nothing to do with others. You have to have the protection yourself. So the way you treat to others, remember, it's going to come back to you. So then anywhere you go, so whatever you do, even as a husband and wife, respect each other and never try to criticize anybody, especially with their gender. People mostly do that mistake in day-to-day life. When they get mad, when they get angry, they mostly blame to others, naming and mentioning their gender. Never do that, because it's going to come back to you. So somebody need to tell it to you. So that's why I remind you. Otherwise, sometimes you make that mistake. So until you attain to the Nibbana, if you learn this lesson and determine yourself, no matter what happen in your life, how hard it is, you're never going to do that mistake. You're going to be safe from here to your liberation. So that is you need. So that is what this Isidas story telling you. And then how she attained to the enlightenment. Because when she was the goldsmith, when he worked himself, he put attention to the work. And that skill came when she started to practice meditation. See, that it developed the samadhi, tranquility state. So when she focused to something, what happened? And so her mind became so sharp and clear. And that clarity helped her to get out of the 5 hindrance. And once you get out of the 5 hindrance, you can see how things come to be as they are. When you're able to see how things come to be as they are, you always react according to necessary conditions in that moment. If you're able to do that, you're not going to create any kind of unnecessary bad karma. And that is where you're going to end your karma. So it is possible within yourself. Then remember yourself. And you have this beautiful human life. And at the same time, remember, others also have this human life and all other living beings. And they love their life. So then, when it comes to any situation, the very first principle you have to take. It doesn't matter, you blame to others, you fight each other, do whatever you do. But the very principle, you have to do this everything with the respect. If you're able to do that, anywhere you go, you're going to be safe. So with that, I bless upon everyone with this good practice. May all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vivajjantu sabbarogo vinasatu mate bhavatantarayo sukhi diga yuko bhava. Ettavata cha ammehi sampadang punya sampadang sabbe deva numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya idam me punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.